Magic squares. When it all adds up, magic squares are a fascinating way of arranging numbers, and there are whole books about them and their secret uses. The magic sum of any square is the same whichever line is added. 7 magic squares are traditionally associated with the planets. The 3x3 square is Saturn's, and the squares increase by 1 order as they descend through each planetary sphere to reach the lunar 9x9 square. Elegant patterns of odd and even numbers seal based on the structure of its square, a useful code for wizards. A magic square is an example of a permutation ordering things in a set in a particular way. There are 8 ways to sum to 15 using 3 numbers from 1 to 9, and all 8 ways are present in the 3x3 magic square. Other totals found in magic squares are worth a second look. The Maya would surely have delighted in the fact that the 8x8 square has the magic sum of 13 times 20, while the solar line total of Elevention gives 666 as the square sum, as 1 plus 2 plus 3 for plus 34 plus 35 plus 36 equals 600. With Gematria as an additional magic key, words and magic squares naturally interweave secret world of spells and other talismanic arts. Modern numbers. The dawn of complexity, when the ancient Greeks proved that the diagonals of squares could not be expressed as fractions. It is said to have caused a crisis in their ranks, a little like the terror still experienced today by many people faced with a square root symbol. The last 400 years of human thought have transformed our conception of number. After the adoption of Indian numerals and the zero, the next piece of witchcraft was the invention of negative numbers, creating a number line which vanished into directions. Negative numbers were helpful but created a conundrum. Square and negative number, and it becomes positive, so what are the square roots of negative numbers? Mathematicians realized that there was another entire number line of the square roots of negative numbers, which they called imaginary numbers, labeled today with an I, so I is the square root of -1. Complex numbers today live on a number plane with a real part and an imaginary part. Interestingly, it is the play between imaginary and real numbers that effortlessly produces the beautiful complexity of quantum mechanics, fractals, and chaos theory, modeling many of the shapes and processes we find all around us in nature. With the decimal system we use today, we can describe numbers like pi or the ratio between a circle's circumference and its diameter with great accuracy. However, some of the most beautiful objects in modern mathematics simply employ repeated fractions, which would have been familiar to the ancients. These capture the complex essence of square roots, the golden section or pi, and the exponential growth function.